Okay. This is different. Let me just check everything's working. I'm such a novice. Okay. This is different. Brilliant. So this is a video that I've never done before. And to anyone that's new to the channel or coming into the live stream or anything like that, please give me a little bit of wiggle room with this, because I'm totally new to talking about finance, especially streaming about it, where every mistake you make is there live. I normally do gameplay videos, which is the reason for this Space Invaders top, but lately my life has been consumed by a little known stock in the stock market called Gamestop. So what I hope to do in this video today is basically talk about where we are at the moment and the dodgy things that I've found recently, because I think a lot of the shenanigans that are going on behind the scenes with this share, or stock, should I say, is unfathomable, and it's just so bizarre that I have to start like making a log of this sort of thing. And I was going to tweet this latest finding that I found, but I think we should begin with basically where we are at the moment. So this is where I have some fancy effects from my streaming days. Okay, so this button, whoa, fancy transition, let's go. Here we are. Now this is going to get real deep, but I'm going to try and make it as easy to understand as possible. I think let me just bring this window over here, because I think I'm streaming on YouTube as well as Twitch. If anyone is watching me on any of those, feel free to like send me a message and I can answer some questions and that sort of thing. But I believe I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, which is just bizarre. But I think YouTube is the best place for this type of content, where you just have a long chat about where we are at the moment. So hopefully this could be a new thing. But let's give you some background on who I am. So back in March sort of time last year, 2020, when everyone was stuck at home and bored and the lockdown was going on, I needed to find something to do. And one of the things I found to do, I actually have to hand, not on purpose, but one of the things I started picking up was just painting random things. So I painted this box, it kept me busy. I also painted an advent calendar. So I made myself an advent calendar, which was pretty funny, making that in March. And then I was starting to get a little bit bored. I found myself, it's so strange that I have all these things to hand. It just shows that I'm in my man cave right now. Another thing I tried to pick up, yo-yoing. Random hobby, I know. But it was one of those things that I'd never really tried before. Yo-yoing. This yo-yo has one of those axles, I think they're called, in the middle, where it spins. So you flick it down and it will just keep spinning at the bottom. And that was a brand new thing I learned in lockdown. So I was doing all these projects and things, and another one that springs to mind was lock picking. I bought myself a lock picking set because, everyone was stuck at home, everyone was bored. And let me just switch back to me for a sec, because this has got nothing. Oh, I guess we can leave Reddit up. So I was picking up all these random hobbies, and one of the things that I've always been interested in is obviously money. And I think everyone is. It pretty much dictates your life, whether that be what restaurant you go to, what you do at the weekend, where you live, what car you have. Matters to a massive extent. So I thought, you know what, it'd be interesting to start learning about this. I've got nothing else to do. I'm not allowed out of the house. And this was back in March, when it was proper lockdown. It was scary to go outside. And masks weren't even being recommended by the government because there were no masks in the country. So everyone was just walking around, keeping distanced. But everyone was just scared of what was going to happen next. And I remember that day when Boris Johnson came on the TV and everyone was just like watching him. and it felt very historic, seeing like the breaking news. Everyone was gathered around the TV to see what it was going to say, and everyone knew the announcement that was to come, because of leaks in the media and all this rumors in the news that we were going to have a lockdown, and no one really knew what that meant. So anyway, I started to pick up on the interest of getting into the stock market, and like I say, I've never done anything like that before. The closest thing I have to getting into managing my own finances is having a help to buy ISA. And that's like a UK scheme by the government that you put a certain amount of money in every month, and they will top it up when you go and buy a house. So it helps people get on the property ladder. But apart from that, haven't really dabbled with anything else. So I started to pick up onto YouTube. I think that's the best place for learning nowadays. And really from there, I've been hooked. I've been following people like Joseph Carlson. I think he's my favorite YouTuber. Let me just get him up, give him a shout out. He's massive YouTuber compared to me. Hey, there's me. Lol. Joseph Carlson, great YouTuber, great content. You can see all the videos that I've watched. Like, literally, I watch every single video of his. Every one of these has got like a red line. I also watch Jeremy. I don't know how you spell his surname, but thankfully we have Google autofill nowadays. He's a really good YouTuber as well. And of course, you can see here, I've watched this one because it talks about GameStop, and that's what we're going to be coming on to later in this video. I don't know how long this stream's going to last. I don't know if it's going to be a regular thing that I do either. We'll just see where we go. I just like to talk about it because, oh, it's been bananas, and it still is bananas. So I follow him. I follow Meet Kevin, this guy. And I also like Graham Stocks. I don't know his surname. Graham Stephan. He's really good as well. I actually watched this today. So I've been following all these YouTubers, and they eventually came up with the channel Millennial Money as well. So I was in a real, like, not spiral, but I jumped into that hole of learning about the stock market, and the more I watched, the more interested I was getting. So I was learning things like PE ratios and what all the different numbers mean when you're looking at a stock. And the more I was learning, the more I wanted to get into it, starting to dabble with it, and, you know, see what could happen. What's the worst that could happen? I had extra money that was being saved from not having to commute into work, and it just made sense to give it a try. So what I did was I went to the App Store. I searched for Freetrade. Freetrade was one of the apps that I had seen recommended by the financial YouTubers that I follow. I think there was even people before these three that I watched before this, but nowadays those are the four. So anyway, I was looking at different platforms. I was looking at Trading 212 and all the different fees that Hargreaves Lansdown and other places charge to basically buy stocks and shares. And I settled with Freetrade. And Freetrade, if you don't know, I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I haven't streamed or done a video in donkey's years, so don't worry about that. There's no bias of what I'm trying to sell or push. I'm just trying to tell my story. Strange that Graham Norton's streaming right now. Let's just check that out. What's going on? He's doing a live stream of Tom Hiddleston? Okay. What was I saying? Graham Norton has completely thrown me. So I picked up Freetrade and I threw in a couple £100 because that was the money I was saving from not having to travel in. And I think my first share I ever bought was Coca-Cola. Pretty safe company. I knew that Warren Buffett made his billions from there, and I knew they gave out a dividend. So basically, whenever I'm going to be saying these different words, I'm going to try and help the noobs out there to understand what all these words mean. So dividend is basically a small amount of money that a company offers to their shareholders to basically say thanks for supporting the business. Here's a small slice of our profits, split between all you guys. So you have these things here where you can see how much of a dividend a company gives out. GameStop doesn't have one, but if you go to, say, Coca-Cola, like we're talking about here, KO, Coca-Cola give out a this is where I'm going to be a real noob here. I think it's a 1.68 dividend, and I can't remember what the 3% means. It's one of those numbers. It's the dividend, and that's basically the money that they're going to be giving out to the shareholders to say thanks for the profits. And normally these are every quarter. So like I say, I'm going to be showing some noobiness. I think I hold my hands up and say I'm still learning about the stock market, and I find it really interesting, and which is the reason for the video today. So Coca-Cola was the first one I got into, and I found it really easy. Freetrade has a really easy user interface, and the more I was getting into it, the more I wanted to try different stocks and shares and spread myself out. So I was buying things like AstraZeneca, and some other companies. I can't remember off the top of my head. And it wasn't until probably maybe the end of the year, probably December sort of time, that I had a couple of grand in the stock market. Different companies. Wasn't really doing much research. I was looking at PE ratios and seeing which were overpriced and underpriced, and using websites like Simply Wall Street I really like. I didn't think of that. Oh well. Okay. Hopefully, yeah, we'll move on. So this Simply Wall Street website is great for analyzing stocks, where they are. Let's go to AstraZeneca. They have them right here, strangely enough, which is a bit weird. You can see how good of a dividend they offer, how much of a value they are, so whether their price is reasonable for what they're asking for the shares, their projected future, how they've been in the past, and their current health. And they have all these like highlights of, what the company's doing, some highlights of where they are at the moment, the risks of what you're going to get when you buy into this stock, and then you can see how they've been over the number of years, all of the different things that have been going on, the volatility of the price. So it's relatively stable over the past 5 years. The returns that have been happening over the last 5 years. So if you invested 5 years ago into AstraZeneca, you would have doubled your money and a little bit more. And then you get some valuations. So currently, according to this, AstraZeneca is 43% of what it should be, the price. So I don't know why it's saying that's £83.40. Currency in US dollars. Maybe I'm on the wrong one. That's the one there. So this is something that I've tried to get my head around pretty quick. Is you type in these symbols, and they have like these different markets that they're in, and obviously because we're in the UK, it's on the London Stock Exchange rather than what I was on, whatever NMS is. I'm guessing it's something to do with America because the currency is in US dollars. So that means £83.40. I don't know why they highlight it in pennies. Some of these change. It's really strange. So they're currently £83.40, but according to all the analysts and what they currently have and all the assets they have and how much money they're making and how their future's going to be and all that sort of thing, the fair value, and it's quite a lot of data that goes into this. I've never really properly looked into this myself. You can see how, I don't know, their assets and under management come under, and all these different things of what it should be and where the market's going and that sort of thing. They're significantly undervalued at the moment. So in theory, it's probably a good time to buy AstraZeneca because they'll come up. And that leads me on to the PE ratio. The PE ratio is the price to earnings ratio. It's basically taking this number up here and dividing it by the amount of earnings that this company has had. So I think it's the TTM is basically the trailing 12 months. So the earnings for the last 12 months divided by £83.40. That comes up with 38.97. Now, typically, that's quite expensive in my opinion, but I don't know how they compare against other companies within the like the medical market. I don't know what the market's going to be like in a few years, and obviously they have the vaccine too, so that could and they're a massive corporation as well. They give out, you can see here, 2% dividend. So I don't know the full ins and outs of what constitutes this, but if I was to do my homework and properly look into it, it's pretty obvious to see. So it's currently 43% undervalued compared to what simply Wall Street thinks it should be. So it's kind of like built, this fair value is kind of made up in a way by analysts and stuff. And yeah. So anyway, that's just basically a breakdown of my experience with the stock market and stuff. They've currently got a 2.41% dividend. I'm guessing it's gone up recently. So anyway, I find it really interesting. They're currently paying out 92% of their money to dividends. That's really high. They keep that small slither of earnings to do research and development and pay for, I don't know, staff and whatever. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, there's so many like stats that go into a website. What should I say? Website, a stock. So yeah, that's a bit of a background to who I am. And after getting into the stock market for a number of months, obviously I was watching more YouTubers and reading more books, a lot of books, and my attention was going away from video games, which is why I haven't been streaming Fortnite and other stuff. And you know, I've been busy. I'm getting old. I'm nearly 30, for crying out loud. So I've had a really strong interest in where the stock market is, and I like to see my money go up and go down and what's caused that, and I like to see dividends coming in. And that was basically the basis of a lot of my holdings, was getting regular money coming in. So I highly recommend starting on YouTube if you are trying to understand it all. But however, I will take everything you see and hear with a pinch of salt, even from me. And I don't know if I've said this already, but this stream, this video, and everything I tweet and that sort of stuff, it's not financial advice. You have to go out there for yourself and figure out, you know, what you want to invest in, what you don't want to invest in, who you want to listen to, who you don't listen to. It's not financial advice. If you want financial advice, I'd go to a financial advisor, a professional one. But this is all my story of where I am, and hopefully it's a little educational and entertaining. So please go and do your research. I don't want to be responsible for any losses or, you know, that sort of thing. So that was pretty much where my portfolio was at in December. you've got my whole story of how I got into the stock market, and by December how I was continually investing, I don't know, a couple of £100 a month from the money that I was saved from not going to restaurants and not traveling into work and not going out because of lockdown. So a couple of £100 a month is a pretty good way of getting into the stock market, because you do this thing called, I'm under pressure now, I'm on stream. What's it called? It's a really easy name as well. When you, let me just get paint up. Dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging. Oh, it came to me. So dollar cost averaging, let me try and get a good image, because that's the easiest way. So dollar cost averaging. This is a completely different type of video that I normally upload, but I hope it helps. This is just a guy talking about finance. So dollar cost averaging is buying, say these red dots is when you're buying. You can see it's regular. You're buying. So this could be every month. Every month your paycheck comes in, you buy some Bitcoin. And then next month, Bitcoin. So gradually you're buying the Bitcoin, and because you're averaging out the price, you're getting this average line come across. So whenever the price comes a little bit above, you're well in the money, sort of thing. It averages out your investment. So say if you bought at the top because you hear it in the news that Bitcoin has hit a record high and you go and invest loads of money into Bitcoin, well, that's not a great time to invest, is it? Because you've bought at a high time and it needs to keep going higher in order for you to make profit. So the best time to buy a Bitcoin is when the news is quiet and there's nothing going on. So if you average out your price, you're going to get a better profit when it does go up and it gets in the news, and you can think, oh, is it going to go higher from here, or shall I sell out? Because then, say in this graph, you're basically say that's about half a centimeter there, another centimeter, and then like 3 centimeters. So that's basically someone that has bought these 3 down here. By the time you've bought this, and then it shoots up to like these 2, you've basically quadrupled your money, if you know what I mean. So you have to make that analysis yourself. And the number one thing that I've learned from doing stock investments is you make your money when you buy. And that took me a while to figure out, to be honest. So dollar cost averaging is a good way to get into the stock market. No matter what the price is, you just keep buying. Even if it's at the top, you just buy your normal amount and, understand what you're buying. So that's the best personal experience that I've had. And nowadays I've been investing solely into the likes of Gamestop, which is where we are at present in June. So Gamestop came about to me because I was a massive, I want to call myself a massive bellend, but that's basically what it was like back in the day on Wall Street Bets. So Wall Street Bets is basically I don't know, whoever's watching this video, you should really be aware of what Reddit is. But basically what Reddit is basically forums, and then each forum has its own sub forum. So you can have the overall view of Reddit and you can see all the different posts and the trending things, or you can dive deep into one specific one. I'm sure the likes of whoever watches this video probably already knows that. So Wall Street Bets, I've been a long time fan of Wall Street Bets, way back in probably 2016 was probably when I followed Wall Street Bets. They've got like this really like dry humor, memes, funny stuff. This is the sort of shite that gets pushed onto this. So I was following Wall Street Bets, and I don't know what it was that tempted me, but basically I saw analysis of memes come and go all the time. From the top of my head, which ones were coming and going. Oh God, there's so many. There's like Neo. There was Palantir. There was loads of stock names that were coming and going into this forum. And I saw a couple of them do really well. So one of the ones that really stood out to me was, and I'll always remember this because I fucking regret it, to be honest. Let me just have some water. Jesus Christ, I've been streaming for 26 minutes. Let's go. I've not even like started the GameStop story yet. Okay. Give me some of that Fanta. Let's go. Okay. So I saw things coming and going in Wall Street Bets. There were ticker symbols. Ticker symbols is basically this, or shall I say this little symbol that represents what, you know what a ticker symbol is. It's the name for what you're going to buy. They were coming and going in Wall Street Bets, and the one that I really missed out on, and I did see it in its infancy, was Palantir. Palantir, I think I saw in October. So let's have a look at Palantir stock. Share. Good if I could spell. Share price. So let's just zoom back, and this is going to trigger me. I can tell it's going to trigger me. Okay. Hopefully you're entertained. So not year to date, because obviously that only goes back to January. So we'll go to 1 year. Say October. So say it was, I don't know, middle of October. What, $10? So for every $10 that I would invest, and then it's grown up and up. So that would have doubled my money if I took it out in November. And then it's gone up and down and consolidated a little bit. Getting that steadiness. And then it's shot up into January, nearly 40. And then shot down, back to 30. Shot back up to about 38. So if whatever I'd have invested back in November, sort of October sort of time, I would have tripled my money if I sold at the peak. But it's really hard to do that. It's really hard to go, oh yeah, this is going to be the max, and this is going to be the max. And nowadays it floats around 20, 25, 20 sort of range. So that was the one that I missed out on in Wall Street Bets. I saw it come up, and it wasn't particularly highly voted. And I don't think the post I saw still is. I think it's still really small, but it's become one of those stocks that's still quite popular nowadays. And some big investment firms are well into Palantir, and I'm thinking of ARK Invest. Okay. So Wall Street Bets was full of memes. It was full of fun stuff. And I saw memes come and go. And I particularly remember Palantir, but there were plenty that were just shit. And this forum is basically like people who love to post when they make fucking stupid amount of losses, and people who make stupid amounts of gains by doing ridiculous bets. Like I've seen people, I don't know, throw 100 grand and they say, oh, this is my, I don't know, inheritance from my wife. Let's go to the moon or some shit. And it would be invested in some random ass company you've never heard of. Like Nikola. Nikola's a good one. So Nikola is obviously have on one side, it reminds you of Nikola Tesla, yeah? So it's like Nikola, the name, and it's spelt as such as well. So they do electric trucks, and this is something that I really enjoy about learning about finance, is you learn about so many different ticker symbols and different businesses that you've never even heard of. And they form like a good case study for when you yourself are thinking about investing. And it does really come down to experience. And like I say, I've only been doing it for just over a year. Now it's in June of 2021. But in that year, I think I've learned quite a lot. And the more I read and the more I listen and the more I stay on top of things, it makes me more educated in when I'm making my investments. And yeah, definitely wouldn't say I'm anything special compared to other investment people on Reddit, Wall Street Bets, or any other forum or YouTube or anything like that. I'm just a guy that's trying to, make a buck. So Nikola is the same spelling as Nikola Tesla, the person that basically did something with electricity, invented it. I don't think he invented it, but he did something with it. So you have Tesla that do the electric cars with Elon Musk. And I missed out on that, by the way. I didn't really invest in Tesla. I thought it was way too expensive. Let's have a look at Tesla at the moment. So Tesla's had a bit of a hammering recently. So it's got it's gone from like nearly 900. If you invested anywhere in like January, February sort of time, 800 sort of area. Let's just go with 800, yeah. And now it's gone way down to 6. So you've lost 2/3 of whatever you've invested if you invested within these couple of months. But yeah, their PE ratio, so their price to earnings ratio is 600. The fucking average is about 25. If you get anything below 25, you're getting a little bit of a bargain. Above 25, you're paying a premium, hoping that this price is just going to keep rocketing and their earnings are going to like follow suit, like big style. So that's why Tesla's price to earnings is so high, is because all these investors think in 5 years their earnings are going to go fucking through the roof, and it all like, there's a lot of expectation when you see a number like that. So that's not particularly a meme. It's just people don't always value companies based on where they are currently. Sometimes they think forward. Okay. So bear that in mind. So Tesla back in, when did I start? Say about May, $100. So even still, if you divide this by 6, yeah, divide the US dollars currently by 6, because it was about, say, $100, just make it easy, and then you divide this by 6, their price to earnings ratio is 100. So it was really overvalued then. Okay, so we're dividing this by 6 because that's what this price is back in sort of May sort of time, and you were dividing this by 6 because obviously divide them both by 6. So the price to earnings was 100, and reading everything I knew and watching YouTubers, a lot of them loved Tesla and they constantly talk about it. And I think if I had come into the game maybe in 2019, I would have done my homework about Tesla and where they are and where they're going, and hopefully I would have bought, I don't know, even £100. Because you've seen the run that it's had. It almost hit 900, and then it's since like come down. But I never invested in Tesla because the price to earnings is too high for me. It was too expensive when the average is 25 and theirs was 100 back in the day. But you can see that it doesn't matter. People invest based on psychology and sentiment and future gains and loads of different things. Loads of different things can go into what makes a stock price what it is. Okay. So back to Wall Street Bets. You have Tesla on one side that's absolutely owning things, and then hello, someone's posted a thread about Nikola. So Nikola gets everyone excited. It's all about electric trucks, which is a part of the market that Tesla doesn't do. So everyone gets excited. Everyone starts buying Nikola. And to be honest, I don't know whether this was in 2020 or whether it was slightly before then, but it goes down in folklore about sort of why you don't trust everything you see with regard to stocks. And this is going to tie in well into GameStop. So I know I'm coming in with like lots of jargon and shit, but I hope I'm I'm easy to understand in a way, because you know, I've only been doing this for a year. So let's have a look at Nikola. So Nikola, 17. Their PE ratio doesn't even exist. Why doesn't it exist? Because they're not earning anything. So there's a lot of companies out there that don't have any earnings, or they have negative earnings. So that's a whole different subject. So their earnings don't really exist. They're just in debt at the moment, but their hope is that, you know, obviously climbs. So what this Nikola Corporation do is electric trucks. And say, I'm not 100% sure if it did come across my view when I was in Wall Street Bets, but it was the sort of caliber that would. So this is a good example. So let's go to the 1 year view. Oh, 5 years. Okay. 5 year view. What the hell has happened here? Okay. So it was actually one of these that I would have seen, because I started back in like March. Okay. So March, April sort of time, which just so happened to be like the biggest dip for buying into the stock market. And as I said earlier, the best time to buy stock in the stock market is when prices are low, because then it goes up sort of like exponentially in a way, because you have one share at $10 and it goes up to 100, you've just 10x'd your money, you know. Whereas if you buy at 100 and it goes to 110, or say 200, you've doubled your money rather than 10x'd, if you know what I mean. I hope that makes sense. So what the fuck has happened here? Why is there this massive run up? So they entered the stock market. I don't know when they did. Oh, I think that might be the max. So entered the stock market in 2018. $10, $10, $10. Oh, there's a little blip. I don't know what that is. I'm not 100% educated into Nikola, and I don't really want to be. And then say a post on Wall Street Bets might have been made around here. I don't know. I'm speculating here. So people invest and it becomes a bit of a meme. They might have even posted around here. And that's the thing with Reddit. You don't really know who's posting. So you have to take everything with a pinch of salt. And you have to do your DD. Now, DD means due diligence. I also like to call it deep dive. And that's something I've really picked up with GameStop, because it's fucking nuts. Let me tell you that. Anyway, so this was one of these like meme type of corporate stocks to go and buy. You would see YouTubers say, oh, Nikola is the greatest. They're doing trucks. And then say if one of these really popular YouTubers did a video on Nikola, suddenly everyone would know about it. Other YouTubers would start covering it, and it would just go crazy. So I think that's like one of the reasons for this massive run up and this all this excitement. What's going on? Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay, I don't know what that means. Hopefully it's okay. If you do notice any like bad streaming, what's this? Stream health. Why has it suddenly gone to poor? Is it okay? Let me turn my Wi-Fi off. That I don't know. I hope it's okay. I hope it's okay, because I am streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. Maybe that's something to do with it. Okay. I'm just going to carry on, because I don't really know what else to do. I'm a noob. But I hope it's okay. There we go. It's healthy. Okay. Anyway. That's the joys of That's the joys of streaming. Jesus. Okay. Where was I? Nikola. So, this would have been one of the stocks that was all around social media. And it's an electric truck company. Oh my God, that's like Tesla. Tesla's running at a 6, or back in its time, 100 P ratio, around that sort of time. Let's get in on it before it even has a PE ratio. Fucking hell, we're all going to be billionaires. So everyone gets in. I don't know exactly when this run-up was, and I wouldn't even blame Wall Street Bets for the run-up either. I'm not too versed in why there was a massive run-up. I think it was a lot of talk on Wall Street as well, because this sort of money is stupid. That's not just retail. So everyone was getting in on this company that do electric trucks, something that Tesla doesn't do, or any other company for that matter. And with that specialization of an electric truck, that's really cool. So there's this big run up, from 1st of May. This is in weeks, by the way. So it's not like a straight up catapult over a day or a week. This is from May all the way through May, middle of June. Oh, it's starting to peter out. What's going on? I can bet you now, even without me doing my due diligence on researching this stock, I bet this was around the time that the short information came out. Okay, let's pause. Short a stock. What the fuck does that mean? If you want to buy into a company, let's go back to AstraZeneca for a year. I would have bought, I don't know, probably around here, June sort of time. I obviously want the stock to go up and to the right. I want them to make money. I want the price to go up. So, there's all these shares, and, my value of the company keeps going up because the company earns more. And yeah. Anyway. So my goal is for them to do really well, earn loads of stuff, and it goes up and to the right. I'm long on the stock because I'm going to hold it for long term, hope that it goes up, and most of the time it does. If you go to somewhere like, let's go to Facebook, real popular stock to hold over the course of 2020, so June 2020 to now, it's gone up and to the right because they keep earning more money and they keep being more highly valued, and they're currently nearly worth $1 trillion, which is bananas. So I'm long the stock because I hold it for a long time. 1 year isn't a long time, but that's basically the phrase for it. It's called long on the stock. So if I hold this for 5 years, let's just have a look at where someone from 5 years ago would be now if they bought 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, as far as it goes back, the price was 120. So for every dollar that they've put into this company, it would now be basically tripled. So you have to be very convicted in your investments. Apple, for instance, let's have a look at 5 years. If you invested back in 2016, July 2016, down the bottom is 26, and it's now gone up to 127. So 5 years, just by putting your money in and leaving it, you can delete the apps from your phone. You don't even have to look at the price. You just leave it in there for 5 years. You've now six times your money. Pretty crazy. So that's a good strategy to have. But of course, there's strategies like dollar cost averaging. So you'd buy here, 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 buy here. So you have more money within Apple, and you wouldn't 6 times your stock because sometimes you've bought here, sometimes you've bought here, sometimes you've bought here and here. But you might triple your money, and it would be more money than you would have put in one big lump at the bottom. And you never know. Sometimes you might have come in here, and if you put all your money in, you would have got less return because there's been dips along the way and that sort of thing. So It's a good strategy to have. So that's longing the stock. Shorting the stock. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Shorting the stock is basically saying that you think the stock is going to go down. And this is quite confusing for me to even explain how it properly works, the nitty-gritty details. But basically, let's go back to... Where's it gone? Nikola, here. Shorting the stock is predicting that the price is going to go down. This could be for a number of reasons, but Nikola is a great example of... This is why I picked Nikola to talk about today. Nikola... it was found by one of these investigative investment journalist types. I don't know the exact name or who he was working for or anything like that. But they released a paper after investigating this company that had come out of nowhere and had been all the hype for a number of weeks, and all these YouTubers were like really excited about the stock, saying, oh my God, invest, this is a great company, they're doing electric trucks, look at where Tesla is now, comparing them. They're saying, oh yeah, well, they're not as big as Tesla yet, but give it a number of years and they'll be really great. So anyone that's invested along here, they'll be frightened by a drop-off like this. So they've gone from 65 way down to 30, and they've stabilized a bit. Then a little bit of positive news might have brought the price back up, and then it's gone back down. And ever since, it's just gone down, down, down. And we're now sitting at 17, which is slightly higher than what it was back in, I don't know, 2020 sort of times. But it's basically shorting is predicting that the thing is going to go down. And you really have to do your research on this. So one of these investigated... What the hell was that? Who's calling me? Oh shit, my phone. That's so funny. I don't know if you could hear that. This is so random. I have an app on my phone for blind people, to help blind people. And it's called Be My Eyes. Be My Eyes. I need a drink, Jesus Christ. I 100% thought it was a donation. That's funny. Yeah, it's called Be My Eyes. And basically blind people sign up to the app and volunteers sign up to the app. And when they need help, when a blind person needs help with something, they can press help me, and you get everyone that's got eyes, or the volunteers, get the call to say, oh, this blind person needs help, are you free to help? And you basically, I assume, or I haven't done it myself, but it's basically like FaceTime, you're connected up to each other, and they could go, oh yeah, I just need help with knowing what this is. Is this salt or is it pepper? That sort of thing. So it's pretty cool, and that's only the second time it's ever rang, because there's millions of people that have signed up to be volunteers, including me. It's a pretty good cause to help, and it doesn't really take up much of your day. And then anyone that's blind can sign up to the other side when they just need a bit of help. You know, it could be anything. So that's pretty cool, pretty cool. Anyway, back to where we were. It wasn't a donation, it wasn't chat. I don't think many people are watching, but I like to talk about it. Anyway, where are we? We're almost getting there. Nearly 50 minutes in. I'm trying to explain everything about the stock market. Okay. So this investigative journalist came out around this sort of time. I don't know without Googling who it was or when it was released. But basically this investigative person did their analysis, and they there was all these promotional materials about coming out from Nikola themselves saying, look at her trucks, it's like amazing. Let's have a look. Like, look at these, they're really cool. Cool trucks, look at this, whoa, 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 buy. This is Nikola Motor the new Tesla? Buy. All these crazy, like, and this is a guy that really like on YouTube. So I'm not having any digs at him, but you really have to take everything you see with a pinch of salt, because you don't know their motivations. You don't know secretly what they're doing. You don't know if they've been paid to say these things or if they're just following the hype. So you really have to do your own research. This is nothing against Jeremy. So anyway, they've got really cool products, right? Really cool. Look at these. Really amazing. Electric trucks like this. And they're doing massive conferences. You're like, holy shit, this is a really cool company. All electric, and they're doing massive trucks like that. Wow, that's really cool. That's like the future. This is like, how the hell does this company just come about? So, this investigative journalist, I keep saying investigative journalist, I think it's an investigative journalist, did their research, and they basically found out in one of their promotional materials, they have a truck. Okay. I don't know if this is going to share the audio. I hope it works. Brilliant. If I was getting into stock, that excites me. Turns out it was just rolling down the hill. It was rolling down the hill. It's motorless. There's no motor in there. There's not even an electric motor in there. There's nothing electric about it. It was rolling down the hill. So this, the price of the company since then, straight down. Everyone that was in it cut their losses. Even if they bought, say, at the top, they know that it's never going to get back to where it was. So people were selling, drove the price down to 30. And then someone might have seen some good news or thought, oh yeah, that's good. It doesn't matter if it's rolling down the hill, you know. Who cares if it's rolling down the hill? They've got motors in the back or something like that. They could have been really convicted in their purchase, bought loads of shares when it's at a discount, because obviously you want to buy when it's low and hopefully sell when it's high. So people have bought again, and they don't really have a truck. It's just rolling down the hill. We don't even have a motor. I don't know, whatever it is. So that's the craziness that you can see within the stock market and Wall Street bets, because that was one of the ones that was definitely spoken about a lot. I didn't get in on that. It was too risky for me. And I was doing all my research of what companies I want to buy, and the kind of like thesis I follow is definitely like Joseph Carlson. Have a look if I can see his portfolio. So he's really cool. He has links down here where you can see he's got 2 different portfolios. So his portfolios are like real safe bets. Massive amount of money into Disney, Costco, Home Depot, Nike, Comcast, Target, and gradually over time he's been buying and buying and buying. Over the year he's added 36%, and you know, it's very safe companies that he's done his homework on. ETFs, another video, do that, talk about that. So he's been buying these cool big name companies, playing it safe, whereas people on the likes of Wall Street bets like to play it a bit riskier. They'll throw money into a company like Nikola, no one's ever heard of. If it goes up, cool. If it goes down, that's quite funny, let's post about it. One of the rules actually in Wall Street bets is if you're going to do a loss, it needs to be more than $2,500 or 10,000 if you're using options, which is just stupid amounts. Options, again, different video, different topic. So there's all these things that come and go, and Wall Street Bets is hilarious. January comes around. I've never done anything like buying I've never done anything like buying into like one of these meme. I think that's the best way to call it. There are other phrases. Stocks, too risky for me. So I was buying things like Coca-Cola, AMD, Nvidia, Amazon, Visa. I don't know, loads of big names like that. So I was a little bit scared then. I saw my own streams moving. It was scaring me. I thought someone was behind me. Jesus Christ. I've been playing it safe up until January, when I started to see a little bit of momentum with a little company called GameStop. Now, this is where it gets crazy, because I don't remember the first post that got me into GameStop. But it was very convincing. They were talking about short interest. They were talking about Michael Burry. They did their DD, their due diligence. It seemed very comprehensive and a very good reason to buy into the company. The more I researched into the company and the more posts I saw, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. Let's just throw in £100. You know, what's the worst that can happen? I could lose £100. I actually haven't explained something about short sellers. Let me go back to short sellers real quick. So this investigative journalist that found the truck was only rolling down the hill would have, at around this sort of point, purchased short positions. They would have shorted the fuck out of this stock, because they know as soon as they publish this paper, everyone's going to sell out, because they know that they rolled this truck down a hill. And this could have gone really wrong. Say they did all their analysis and they think that it was being rolled down the hill, and then Nikola comes out and goes, look under the bonnet, it's a real truck. But instead, this journalist did their due diligence, researched the stock, and they were 100% convicted this is fake. This is a fake truck. How can they be allowed to sell this? And it's just crazy. It shows how fucking crazy these markets are. It was real. It was a real fake. It was a fake truck, and their due diligence was real. So they did all these short positions, betting the stock would go down. And basically what that means, as simple as I can explain it, is you go to someone like your friend and you say, I bet that's going to go down. And they go, nah, it's not going to go down. I bet it's going to go up or stay the same. Okay. If you think it's going to go down, I'll give you, I don't know, £10. If it goes up, you give me £10. So, okay, fine, I'll buy 1 million of those. Okay, so it's now 10 million, that sort of thing. So they purchase right at the peak, and then they release this paper, and everyone's like, holy shit, this is fake. Everyone sells out. So suddenly the person that's shorted the stock now gets £10, £10, £10, £10, £10 for every fucking share. Or it's not exactly £10, it's like calculated based on the price that it was compared to where it is. And there's normally also a expiry date, as far as I'm aware, as well. So you'd say, okay, I bet by June 2021 it's going to be lower than where it is now. So let's go over to June 2021. Oh, look, it's a third of where it was. So they would have made a fortune, because when you buy a short position, you buy it in, I think it's groups of 100. So, and people don't really just buy one short. They normally buy hundreds, because they're so convicted that it's going to go down. So when they buy so many, I think it actually has an influence on the price. Now, this is getting into dodgy, weird territory of where GameStop is at the moment. Okay, so someone shorted, it went down, they were right, so the person that they made the bet with, their broker, someone like Trading212 or Robinhood or Freetrade or, you know, anyone like that, that's a broker, they would have to pay the person that did the short. So short is basically thinking, oh, it's peaked, it's going to go down. You can make loads of money that way. A long is when you hold it for a long time, it goes up and you go, oh, okay, I'm going to sell here. And you sell, you're walking away buzzing off your tits probably. Now a short position, okay, so let's start with the long. Long position isn't as risky because whatever you put in, that's what you can lose. Say I buy 100 shares, even at the top, £100 worth of shares. So I've got say $100 worth of shares. Right at the top, I've bought $100 worth of shares. So I'm probably going to have like 1.5 shares because you can get like fractional shares. So someone would have bought here $100. So let's just round it to 1.5 shares. Okay. They've put $100 in. It goes down and down. Holy shit. My $100 that I put in is now worth £50 because it's halved in value over, what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks? That's not good. But I've only lost £100 or £50 even. I'm going to sell here and walk away with $50. Okay, because you've gone from here and it's halved 60 down to 30. So you basically lost half your money, but you've only lost 50 quid. You could even hold it way down to here, but you would have lost, I don't even know off the top of my head. You would have lost a considerable amount. You'd probably be down on like 20 or 30 quid if you bought there and still held on because you really believe in the company. Why would you? I don't know. Each to their own. So that's a long position. You buy the share, you hold it. Short position, you bet it's going to go down. So they could have bought this short position here. They would have been bleeding money out of their eyeballs when it went up and even up. And it could have took time until people started to realize, oh my God, this is actually a shit company. They don't have a real truck. It's just rolling down the hill. So every week, I don't know the exact fundamentals of how it works, but basically every time it goes up, you're paying your broker the difference, and you keep paying and you keep paying because you're getting further and further away of what you thought it would do, which is go down. So there's a massive infinite risk because what happens is, say you buy $100 worth of short positions on this, say 29th of May, when it was about $30. Suddenly it's doubled and you've lost double of what you've put in, and it could just keep going every week. You're paying double and double and double and double and double, and it just exponentially just fucking gets up. And sometimes people go with short positions, holy shit, this is too expensive for me, I'm just going to go out. And what they do is they buy the share back off the broker, because at the moment it's lent with the broker. It's all these things to do with lending and buying rather than invest. It's still investing, but it's like a different type. So there's like an exponential way of losing money when you short a stock. If it goes up and you're short on a stock, you're fucked, really fucked. And you have to have real gusto to hold through when it goes up, because you have to be really convicted that it's going to fall down to where you thought it would be. I don't know why it wasn't working. I'm such a thick shit. Is it working now? It must be now, isn't it? I don't know why it wasn't working. Yeah. I'm such a thick shit. Is it working now? It must be now, isn't it? I'm fuming. Actually fuming. I've just been talking for what? 25 minutes? fuck's sake. Right. Okay. Let's start again for the last 25 fucking minutes. Oh, so fuming. I've been just chatting shit to myself for the last 25 minutes, man. Oh, I'm such a noob. Okay. Thanks for the message, Tommy, though. That's much appreciated. Okay. Right. I'll start with GameStop. Let's cut to the chase. GameStop, because I think that's what I've been talking about for the last 25 fucking minutes. Okay. So I've come into investing in March 2020. I followed all the story and I've seen all the memes that come and go on Wall Street Bets, likes of Nikola, where they basically had a truck, electric truck, that didn't have a motor or anything like that, and it was rolling down a hill in one of their promotional videos. Crazy. So someone shorted the stock, they made loads of money, and it kind of sums up what Wall Street Bets was like. It was craziness, a lot of money that was just being invested in companies that people didn't really know, following hype, trying to make loads of money. And one of the rules of Wall Street Bets, which makes it so hilarious, is when you lose loads of money, it has to at least be $2,500 or at least 10 grand in options. Okay. And YOLOs, where you throw all your money in and you want to post a screenshot, has to have a minimum of $10,000 or $25,000 for options and stocks. Crazy. Okay, so it's just a crazy community. I've always followed them. They've been hilarious. Memes come and go. One of them was Nikola, which just gives you a picture of like what it was like. It was nuts. Okay, GameStop comes around. I was made aware of it around January 2021. Okay, so of all my analysis for where GameStop came about, okay, so the best place to start would be one of the first people that found this anomaly with GameStop. Okay, so we've talked about the shorting of stocks. Okay. So shorting is betting that the price is going to go down, okay? And longing the stock is that you're going to buy it, hold for the price to go up, and you'll hopefully sell when it goes up. Pretty straightforward. Longs can only lose what they've put in. So say you've bought one share of Apple for $127, and Apple the next day is obliterated from the world for some unknown reason, and their shares go to zero. Never happened, at least I'm aware. But you would lose your $127. Okay, so you're taking a little bit of a risk that Apple's going to stay around, the price is going to go up, so you'll buy it at 127 because you think it's cheap compared to their market cap. That's their current valuation. Their current valuation is $2.125 trillion. That's how much Apple's worth. The most expensive company in the world. When I say most expensive, it's not actually the most expensive because the P ratio tends to show that instead. The price to earnings ratio. The market cap, Apple has the highest market cap, but it's justified because their price to earnings ratio is only just around average, which is 28. If you want to see the most expensive company, which is very subjective, but the PE ratio could be a good number to use. Okay. So, short interest. You can use websites like MarketBeat, I've never used them before, to see stats about how many shares are out there betting that the company's going to go down, which is just one aspect of a lot of different data that you can use. But short interest is interesting with GameStop. So one of the investors from that I know of is Deep Fucking Value, also known as Roaring Kitty on some social media. And what he found was that GameStop had a short interest of 140%, which doesn't really make sense. And it's really hard for me to explain, even with a year's worth of understanding and trying to get my head around a lot of these things. So it has a short interest of 140%. What does that mean? It means that there's a ton of people. My cat's just arrived. Yeah. Hello. It means that there's a ton of people betting that the company is going to go down. 140% though, that's been unheard of, because basically when you take out a short position, you're betting with your broker that the price is going to go down. And when you do that bet, they have to go into the market, take the shares that you're betting, put it to one side, and then go, okay, these have been set aside for your short. If the price goes up, you have to pay us the money if the price of the shares go up and we're still holding on to those and you're short, you owe us the difference. And it's like exponential, because you buy in bundles of like hundreds and thousands of these things. If it goes down, we can keep it and we can give you like the difference and you keep the profit or something like that. So it's really confusing how it works, but basically short is betting that it's going to go down. Long is that you're going to buy the stock, hold it, hope it goes up, like any normal thing. But short interest is kind of a good thing, because it can expose things like Nikola, where they have a truck, an electric truck that has simply been rolled down a hill, and it's been promoted as like a real business and a real electric lorry company. And it's absolutely bananas to think that this really happens in the real world, but it does. Okay, it really does. So Nikola, complete scam. Take my words with a pinch of salt. And I don't know if I've said this since my fucking stream wasn't using my mic, but this isn't financial advice. This is just me talking about a stock that I like. Okay, so GameStop has 140% short interest, which doesn't really make sense, because these brokers have to go in, buy the stock, hold it, hoping it'll go down. And 140%, how does that work? Because you can't buy 140% of this Fanta bottle. You can only buy 100%. How do you get 140%? So this 40 extra percent is bullshit. So they're manipulating the stock. Okay, that's just a theory. It's just my opinion. So Deep fucking Value sees this and does his analysis, and the more he looks into GameStop, the more he thinks, you know what, they've got this completely wrong. This is a good company that's going somewhere, which is strange because it's a brick and mortar shop similar to Game in the UK. Okay, so this is during COVID as well, when all the shops are shut, and these hedge funds think, oh, well, GameStop is only going to crumble to the ground because all its shops have had to shut. It doesn't really have a great online presence. It sells used video games and everyone's going digital now. It doesn't really make sense. So that's one way of viewing GameStop. And they were so convicted with this that they shorted it, in my opinion, illegally. Because they shorted it more than it existed, which is weird. Okay. Deep fucking Value comes along and goes, you know what? You're kind of wrong here, because they're going to be able to keep their head up. And at this point, the share price was like $4. Let's have a look. GME. Let's have a look. So 1 year ago, what was it? $4. Mate, I know my shit. Okay, so it's $4 like a year ago, yeah? And he's like, they're fucking 140% certain that it's going to go down from 4 when they've got all these shops, all these games. Consoles are still using physical discs, so their analysis that it's all going digital is just wrong, because people have to go and buy their consoles from somewhere, and they have to buy their games from somewhere. And a lot of people would rather go and buy it from a game shop rather than a supermarket. You want that specialist knowledge, you want some advice, you want bundles of things that supermarkets don't really offer. And there's this massive market for video games, and there's not really a special retailer in the US other than GameStop to address that. Okay, so he has his own theory on where the stock should be, and he sees that this short interest is wrong. And the more he looks into it, the more it gets more interesting, because the price of $4, let's get rid of Apple, we don't need Apple anymore. The price of $4 was below what the company actually had in assets. And by assets, I mean the amount of money that they had in the bank, the amount of stores they had, and the games they had, and the everything that this company had totaled up to more than the price of $4. But still, the short interest was there to make them go bankrupt, similar to how Toys R Us and Blockbuster did. So it was interesting. But this deep fucking value saw massive value in this company, and he kept buying, because he kept doing his research, and he was like, this is just wrong. And he did posts on somewhere like Wall Street Bets to be like, what's this? This is crazy. Anyway, doesn't really pick up steam at all. And he just keeps investing, keeps doing his homework. Around sort of October time, you see a little bit of a jump. Okay, interesting. That was around the time that Michael Berry, the guy that did The Big Short, which is a highly recommended film if you haven't seen it and you want to educate yourself on where we are at currently with GameStop. Very similar situation, and it's just frankly hilarious that we've kind of found ourselves back here again, and that he's a part of this narrative too. He's invested in GameStop because he sees the same thing. He doesn't really understand why there's so much short interest for such a company that's got such a small share price as it is, and they really want to get it down to zero because then they make the big bucks. But Michael Berry comes along, makes the company aware, and as does a certain individual called Ryan Cohen. Ryan Cohen has a background of running a company called not Pets.com, Chewy. Chewy, Christ almighty, Chewy is a company that does pet food, pet toys, anything to do with pets. Chewy's the place to go in America. Chewy is an online retailer. They sell pet supplies, everything like that, and he's made he's a billionaire because of it. It's so successful, it's great. And initially, his idea for Chewy was really ridiculed by Wall Street because they thought, Amazon does the same thing. Why would anyone need a specialist pet retailer? But what he did was fantastic because he made it so user-friendly and customer-focused, and he does things like if a customer's pet dies, he sends them flowers, and he says, you know what, keep the pet food that you bought from us, go and give it to a charity or something like that, rather than send it back in. And he's really like customer facing, customer friendly. Everything's about the customer, whereas Amazon's just a place to go and buy pet stuff. And people care about their pets. I care about my cat. And if Chewy was in the UK, I'd be interested in getting really cool birthday presents when it's his birthday and things like that. So he goes above and beyond where Amazon doesn't. And Chewy was really compared to this company called Pets.com. Pets.com has a real tie into the .com bubble. And that's in the year 2000, where everyone was starting to invest in these .com companies, and then it just literally crashed. Like, look how high some of these prices went, straight down. 3 years later, you've lost 4x your money, because there's such a massive correction, because prices were just getting too wild and didn't really relate to how much money the business was bringing in. So Pets.com was around this time as well. Okay, this is his mascot. And this Pets.com character is used in all of the commercial material for Pets.com. And it came around this sort of time as well. Okay. And that was a massive one that got hit sideways by the .com crash, because its price was just through the roof. Everyone thinks it's going to make loads of money, and then you look at the business and it's really not. And their business model was basically the same as what Chewy is today. And you could say that pets.com was ahead of its time, because pets.com in the year sort of 2000, they were looking to do a similar thing, offer real great customer feedback and customer relations to the people that had pets, wanted to go above and beyond, but the real infrastructure wasn't there, because it was the early days of 2000s. You didn't have next day deliveries and that sort of thing, but they were trying, and they had a real good idea, but it was just a bit too much too soon, and they really crashed, and I don't think they're around anymore. But Chewy came along, and he was able to secure the funding after going through hundreds and hundreds of places to try and get it for Chewy. And he's now a billionaire. So he's done the best he can do with Chewy, okay? I'm sure he still has a lot to do with Chewy, but nowadays his focus is on GameStop. So let's go back to the GameStop situation. So he comes around in around September, October sort of time, and he buys a metric shit ton of these shares. He sees real potential when the company is only worth, what, $10? I think he bought 20 mil, something like that. And that's to do, yeah, that's like the insider allocation for him. So he bought like 20 million shares times by 10. That's like crazy amounts of money he's put into this. And then he starts getting more and more involved with the company, seeing a real trend with what Chewy's similarities, because people don't just want to go and buy a game off Amazon. They want to have like a gamer experience, and they have all this store what's it called, area, physical stores. So they have all these physical stores that Chewy doesn't really have. So he's seen a lot of potential for this. I should really fucking mute that. Okay, it's muted. Okay, so he's invested into GameStop now, and he's starting to make recommendations, and he's starting to make changes and that sort of thing, and it's getting interesting now. The price is starting to go up, but still this 140% interest is still there, and they're kind of screwed, these people that shorted the stock, because it's gone from $4 up to 10, 12. So suddenly they're starting to lose quite a bit of money. They're betting that the stock is going to go down to 0 from 4, and it's not. It's gone up. So they're starting to lose money. What can they do? They can go, okay, we hold our hands up. We were wrong. We're going to have to buy back all our shares. We're going to lose. But they don't, because they haven't bought back 3 times the amount. You would see a massive spike in volume and then back down. Okay, coming up to spikes. And also, okay, let's go all the way up to the spike. So Wall Street Bets, I'm not sure exactly what the first post I saw was, but I saw some momentum with GameStop, and it was a really cool thing to be a part of, because I've seen meme stocks come and go, but this one seemed to have real momentum behind it, and the more I looked into it, the more I liked the stock. Okay, so I invested about £100 around 25th, and then it went up and up, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. You have to bear in mind, this is a weekly view. I don't think I can get into a day by day view, but every day it was going up, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to buy some more. And I kept putting more and more and more and more till it reaches the current peak. So this peak, there's a significant drop here. This started to become the worldwide news. You'd see it in BBC, you'd see it on the front of newspapers, you'd see it in CNBC, you'd see it everywhere. It was bananas. It was on Wall Street Bets, the main stock that was talked about all the time. It was always Wall Street Bets, GameStop, everywhere. Okay.
It was a phenomenon. Then Wall Street decided to close off the ability to buy the stock, which is why it had a sharp, nearly 50% drop. And it's trying to shake people off this stock because, remember, they still have the 140% short interest. And the more it goes up, the more they have to buy 140%. They have to rebuy that 140%. And how does that work? There's only 100% of something, isn't there? So what they've been doing, you would know if they've repurchased their stock because it would literally go to the moon. And that's why it's shot up to 350 nearly, because people know that they have to go into the market, buy up everything, and then buy up another 40%. However that works. No one's ever seen that before, and especially in somewhere like America. So it's shot up. There's a lot of volume, a lot of people buying, and it drops down because of basically cheating, as we found in the what are they called? I can't remember the name. The Senate, is it called? The Senate meetings? I don't think it is the Senate. It's something else. There are all these court... what are they called? GameStop Senate? GameStop... Senate hearing? Is it a Senate hearing? Congress meeting. So obviously the government in America started to get wind of this, and it's like GameStop, and there's all this I wouldn't watch it from CNET. There is actually the House Committee Financial Services YouTube channel, and it's by far the most viewed video on their channel. And they basically have all the big boys in here. So this is one of the government side of things. This guy here is Vlad. He is the owner of Robinhood, the CEO, who stopped the ability to buy, which has never been heard of before, because they thought it would be too risky for people to get into, which is like, wait a sec, you don't tell me how risky a stock is. I figure that out for myself, and if I lose money, that's on me, that's not on you. So it's very shady. I'd never ever seen it happen before, where the stock just, you couldn't buy, so only people could sell, and obviously that meant for the drop in price. This guy here is an absolute meme. This is the CEO of Citadel. Okay, let's go back. So back to this board. Ryan Cohen is now a part of this. He's a billionaire. He trusts in the company. He's starting to have more influence over the board, and he's getting people in that he likes. And there's like an Amazon swing as well. Things are starting to happen with this company. They're not just going to be a brick and mortar store anymore. This guy who has a track record in turning companies into fucking massive corporations has now joined GameStop. Crazy. Good news. So it becomes an absolute mania from, say, about middle of January to since the middle of January, 6 months have gone by, and it's still not going away. So we find that the main people that have been shorting GameStop is a company called Melvin Capital. Small, I'd say small. It's not small. They're a hedge fund in Wall Street that have taken loads of money and go, oh, this is easy money. GameStop's going to go out of business. Short. It's going down. And when it was reaching these fucking mania levels, obviously something happened and things were said behind the scenes, all these market makers and brokers and things, and they obviously arranged for this sharp decline that was just so illegal it was a joke, which is the reason for this Congress hearing, to see what is going on. And this is where we've learned a lot of things about behind the scenes of the stock market as well. So companies like Robinhood, they don't charge customers to buy stocks and shares, and that's a common thing you see nowadays. It's become a lot more accessible, like I said, with Freetrade that I initially used on my app. Very easy to use. It's crazy easy to do it, which is amazing. It's amazing for everyone to try and get into the stock market. It's always been like a big barrier of knowledge that you couldn't get in. You have to pay extortionate fees, but now it's free. And what this Congress hearing exposed was how did Robinhood exactly make their money? How does this guy make his money? He's got a massive business, Robinhood. Well, it turns out he makes his money by selling the metadata to hedge funds like this guy here, Citadel. So similar to Facebook in a way. So obviously Facebook makes their money through ads, and the information that you put into Facebook is used to build a bit better picture about who you are, and then it's more specific for advertising and learning and all this weird stuff that Facebook does with data, similar to how Robinhood works. So in a way, you're the product rather than the customer, which is where it gets really shady. And what happens is Robinhood, you put your order through to buy, I don't know, 1 share of GameStop. They go, okay, and they send this order over to Mr. Griffin over here with that information saying, 1 order please for GameStop. And he goes, okay, waits a second. Here you go. And that little delay is where they make their money as well. But what they do is Citadel pay Robinhood for millions and millions of data and orders that come through. So there's like there's obviously a relationship here, big relationship. This is how Robinhood make the vast majority of their money. So this is some guy that's grilling this guy. So there's a bit of a relationship there, isn't there? Because he takes the data from this guy, and there's the delay. The delay means that they have a second or two to try and find it for a cheaper price or charge the customer a little bit extra, and that little bit of difference means extra money for both him and him. It's very Wall Street, okay? This is very Wall Street. This is high level shit that people didn't know before GameStop came around, and it's bananas. It's fucking amazing. Okay, so we're starting to get a bit of exposure on how Robinhood make their money, because before we didn't really know. We were like, how the fuck are you making your money? Because it costs money to go into the stock market. Well, people like him are basically seeing, oh, retail is buying this, retail is selling this. They can see trends, they can see how things are doing, and they can pump and dump sort of things. It's all my personal opinion. Okay, so we're getting there. Okay, so this man Ken Griffin sees that this Melvin Capital that shorted the fuck out of GameStop with 140%. We don't know if it was how much of the percent was for Melvin and how much was for other people, but they could see that a margin call was going to happen for Melvin, and this guy didn't want Melvin to be margin called for some reason. A margin call is when your debts significantly outweigh the amount that you have to prop yourself up. And compared Melvin to Citadel are fucking huge compared to Melvin. Okay. Because they run the backbone of a lot of apps, and they have their own hedge fund, and they wanted to become their own bank at one point. They're huge. They've got billions of monies, billions, and they have arms everywhere. They have offices everywhere. Big, big, big company. Okay. So he comes along and says, you know what? I'm going to save you. We can't have you go under. We don't know the ins and outs of why they did that. Why would you want to save your competitor down the street in Wall Street? We'll find out. but we still, to date, we don't know. We don't really know. But in this call, they basically said, oh, we didn't do that to save them. We just liked the company. Oh, yeah, bullshit. And what you can see is in this current still of Ken Griffin is he is looking, let's just put this on mute. Oh, I didn't want it to swap. Look at him looking away from the camera. He's reading. He's reading. And he gets asked in this interview, how many people are in the room with you right now, Mr. Ken Griffin? And he goes, 5. 5 massive lawyers sat behind the camera here with fucking typing out shit on the big screen, and they can just go, yeah, Citadel Securities, we're all okay. We've closed out our positions in GameStop. He is fucking bricking it, in other words. And it was crazy. This stream was like good 2.5, 3 hour stream where they were getting grilled. And normally this would be done in a courtroom, but because of COVID, they could have these shenanigans where they have the fucking top lawyers in the fucking world behind this camera typing out shit, and they would have prepared every single question that they would expect, you know, and they would have just flicked up on the screen and would just read. He was fucked here. Okay. So I think this is the woman that was leading it, by the way. Maxine Waters, chairwoman. Okay. Oh, no. Don't go there. Let's go to the end. This bit is hilarious because this guy, this is where it just gets bananas. This guy, you could tell which side people were on, whether they were on the side of the hedge funds or the side of retail. And this guy was just so dubious that this Mr. Keith Gill, aka Deep Fucking Value, would stick to his guns and repurchase GameStop at its current price. Because during this call, it was $40. So it's gone from 350 down to 40 during the call. And you know what Deep Fucking Value says? He says, I like the stock. And he buys it. Okay? So he buys the stock. It wasn't the reason for the catalyst, but he doubles down his position. And it doesn't make any difference. I think he probably bought it around here sort of time. He's not the reason that people are buying. People are seeing the value, and the more that people have been looking into the technicals, the more they see a really good company and they're turning around. And ever since, this short interest has just been bananas. You see numbers come and go. You see shares suddenly get rejected for purchasing during the day. So you can see like a volume chart, and it goes into negative. People aren't selling it, but a buy order has been rejected, and you're like, what the fuck? And because there's been so many shares bought, and there's only supposed to be 70 million shares, 57 of which are available for the public. The reason this is different is some people, obviously there's insiders, and they have different rules. So that's the reason for the difference. So it's just gone up and down and up and down, up and down. This GameStop has just been bananas. But gradually we're seeing a bit of consolidation around this 150 mark, and then it's gone up. And recently it's hit the 300 mark, and then it's as of late it's on 233. But everyone knows that they haven't covered. They said they covered in this Congress meeting, but they didn't. Because you would have seen a fucking rocket to the moon where they're purchasing it back. Because they thought back in October, when it doubled, they didn't buy back then, they didn't buy back here, but they're still at that 140% short interest, and you start to see articles in the news, and CNBC are fucking... If there's one thing I've learned from all of this is mainstream media is so corrupt. CNBC is the worst for it. Motley Fool is a close second. You go on to Motley Fool, okay? Were you really surprised by GameStop's 27% drop on Thursday? See, that's a little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD, it's called. And this is a technique that Mr. Jim Cramer says in his hedge fund tricks that he really doesn't want out at the moment. And I promise you should 100% watch this video if you have any interest in GameStop. Watch this video to see how when he's previously head of a hedge fund before, what he does to try and make people sell. They manipulate the stocks, okay? And it's psychological warfare, what we got here. The Motley Fool post these sorts of videos, content all the time about GameStop. Forget GameStop. These tech stocks are better right now. Forget GameStop. And consider Shopify. Should I bet GameStop? Let's have a look. What do they think of GameStop? Should I bet GameStop? It's already risen an extraordinary 5,000%. Calling it volatile is an understatement. Fundamentals are said to be strong. No, I'm not buying it. I feel like sentiment's driving it. Perhaps I'm cynical. Well, yeah, there is a bit of a cynical nature about all of these forget GameStop sort of videos. Forget GameStop. Forget AMC and GameStop. Forget GameStop. Forget AMC and GameStop. Do you see a notice? Do you notice a little bit of a trend here? Do you see a trend? Why is there so many articles? Why is there so many articles by CNBC and Motley Fool and some other websites that have the same sort of titles, constantly pumping out forget this, forget this, forget this, forget this. Forget GameStop. And you know what? We've had leaks come through, legitimate leaks of where people have come out and said, oh yeah, here's a spec that we were assigned to do for GameStop when we're writing articles for the Motley Fool. And you see, if you write an article that says, forget GameStop, buy this instead, we'll give you $100 or whatever. It's more than $100. These people are filthy rich. There's also been leaks, and I can't be asked to go through my Reddit right now because this was months and months ago. But there's also articles or leaks where we find that Motley Fool, which is one of the most popular clickbaity type of blogs about finance and stock trading for the retailer, they're actually funded by Citadel. They've had job postings where they say they are funded by Citadel and, you guessed it, Motley Fool. Not Motley Fool. Melvin Capital. They are Motley Fool. But if you wanted to work there, that's who your supreme boss is. And these aren't bullshit job postings either. You can go into this website called it's not going news, it's called the Wayback Machine, and you can see job postings where it actually says within the job listing legitimate LinkedIn job listings from the company themselves. You can't fake it, saying it finishes off with owned by Citadel and Melvin Capital, and someone obviously didn't do their homework and they completely forgot to remove that, And the more and more this has gone on, the more craziness we've seen. And I think I would love to do more of these streams. And I know I'm not getting many views, and I know my channel is more known for gameplay and other things, and I'm a bit of an amateur to this, but this is really getting to the point where I'm just like, this is absurd. This is absolutely absurd. Like, we know they haven't covered their shares. We had a GameStop shareholder meeting last week, I think Thursday, where we got to vote on different aspects of the business and where they're going. And while the meeting was only 15 minutes long and they didn't have any shocking announcements to make, and they prepared us for all that, we did get the vote count, and that was dropped straight after the meeting, which is not usual for any company, let alone GameStop. And we were expecting an overvote. We were expecting there were more people that have voted on these issues compared to how many votes there should be and how many shares there should be, which is crazy. How can you have more votes than shares? Which indicates naked shorting. Now, naked shorting is a part of the market that is highly illegal. It's not allowed. It means that you've been placing bets on companies without having the stock, which can cause things like we're seeing here with GameStop, a potential exponential growth opportunity, and what I believe to be the potential to see the biggest transfer of wealth in history from massive hedge funds, institutions of Wall Street that are just bankrupting companies and making money by just moving money around, and think they own the place and they can just keep printing out fake shares and money and do loads of dark pool activity and that sort of thing. To the average retail investor, and they couldn't have seen it coming, to be honest. They couldn't have seen a sort of like a Cold War type revolution where people are voting with their money. And you see in the past with things like Occupy Wall Street, where people would go outside of Wall Street and like protest, and all the rich people would be at the top of the balcony just sipping on their champagne laughing. This has hit them a lot harder, and you can see that with the market stop to be able to buy. And now if you go to, I hope this is the right one. Yep. Now if you go to Wall Street Bets nowadays, this number has really petered off. 10.5 million sounds like a lot. But the growth that it was on was like fucking rocket fuel in those months of January and February and a little bit of March as well. But since then, this subreddit, I'm afraid to say, has been taken over. Let's just scroll through here right now. Okay. Chart Exchange now shows GameStop shares as crayons. Do I trust this person? 2 words and a number. Very easy for a bot to make that name. We've had tons of shills, they're called, come into Reddit, because this is where it all began, kind of thing. And look, they're posting a negative thing, negative volume, and it's got quite a lot of upvotes and a lot of awards. Just because it's crayons? Okay. A lot of pumping of AMC. It's interesting. Workhorse, DD. Does anyone really care about a company called Workhorse? Not me. AMC and GameStop merging. That's not going to happen. BlackBerry. Possible rise on Monday. No. BlackBerry again. Oh, look. 2 words and a number. 2 words and a number. Are you seeing my point here now? It's really ridiculous. Wish. I'm so fucked. I gained 3,000 last week, 16 calls, sold them, and I can't even make rent this month. He's down £600 just in a day because there's all these pumping and dumping of different stocks. BlackBerry bag holder, because BlackBerry was one of those stocks that was really pumped through Wall Street Bets during that run up, and everyone was just kept buying the GameStop. BlackBerry, Nokia, Bed Bath and Beyond, AMC I think has been more recent. But there's this conspiracy theory, I don't think it's a theory, it's conspiracy going on, where I just can't see any way out for them other than margin calls left, right, and center on Wall Street. As soon as one of the hedge funds goes down, they all go down like dominoes, and we're going to see the price rocket. I think like nothing you've ever seen. And I'm very hesitant to buy anything right now because let's have a look. 2021 stock market crash. I don't know which one's going to be best. Everyone is predicting a massive crash. S&P 500 is at historical record valuations. What was here? 2000. The dot-com bubble. What are we here? We're just at some random, really high valuation. Everything's got really expensive, and that includes houses. And I think this is just going to wipe out so much things. And the amount of research I've done on GameStop alone gives me full clarity that I'm happy with where my money is now. And I'll hold my hands up and admit that when the price was just dropping like a rock back here, I sold out of my positions because I was paper hands. But what we have now is real momentum. We know that they haven't covered their short position. We've seen all the hearings about the stock, and it just doesn't seem right. And we know all of the manipulation tactics. And recently we had a sell-off because of the latest shareholder meeting, which doesn't make sense. Now, this was the reason that I started this YouTube video at all, because it's come to a point where I've seen so much stuff going on with the manipulation of GameStop that I just had to record this video. Okay, let me just rewind a little bit. I said Wall Street Bets is a complete shill house, and it is. You see, look at this. Workhorse, AMC, CLF, CLOV, what the fuck are those? And I'm not saying that these are bad posts just because I don't know who the companies are. But you're seeing trends of Wish, CLOV, Workhorse. You know, it's the same old... Rocket was one of those that was used by hedge funds to push in, oh yeah, go buy Rocket, go buy Nokia, go buy BlackBerry. And then it goes up and up. And then next fucking day... hits a rock bottom, even though it's been said, oh, Rocket's the next one to go up. Oh, Nokia's going to get a short squeeze as well, because that's what this is all about, is the potential for a short squeeze. And the manipulation that's been going on is disgusting, to be fair. Look at this. Wish, another two words and a name. It's got hardly any karma, no awards, anything like that. And it's a shame, really, because this community was really good, and you see a lot of people in this subreddit just say you've sold out. The mods that used to be here, they've kind of gone. There's all this drama behind the scenes that we are totally unaware of, and people have been definitely bought out. You even see their Twitter page. Let's go and have a look at their Twitter. I just want to like record all of this, because it's like when the crash happens, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that's a shock. But it's not. And that's why I'm trying to like educate myself and provide my opinion. So for 3 months, the official Wall Street Bets hasn't tweeted, yeah? Until yesterday. Today's most popular tickers on Wall Street Bets are AMC, BlackBerry, and CLOV. Why have you waited 3 months to say that? So you click on it, CLOV to the moon. After 3 months, 0 tweets. This is what was chosen. It's finished. Just hedge funds posting now. And that makes sense. They're posting the ones that they want us to buy. They're not posting anything about GameStop, which was the original reason, and the reason for loads of these. They're called meme stocks, but trust me, I don't think GameStop is. But it's one of the reasons that they stopped buying of such stocks. And the vote count as well, that was revealed to be pretty much 100%. Okay? And the sentiment while I was watching the live stream of that was quite confused, hesitant, but we knew that there were more shenanigans going on, because a company doesn't normally release their votes straight away. Normally it takes 4 days to analyze the votes that have come in, make sure they're all correct. But this came in straight after the meeting saying, oh yeah, we've had, I think it was like 55 million votes. So the hedge funds used that to batter down the price again by shorting all of the ETFs that hold GameStop. Okay. So what's an ETF? An ETF is like a collection of, think of it like a pie. So you can buy a pie and it has loads of these companies in, and you get a tiny bit of each of these pies. And they kind of like manage the allocation of shares for you, sort of thing. So you might buy, I don't know, an ETF that is for video games. It has Activision, EA, Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, AMD, Nvidia. It has those 7 companies all in one ETF, and you can buy that. You can buy one share of that ETF, and you get a slither of AMD, a slither of Nintendo, and it splices your money out into all these tiny companies. So there's less risk with one, but rather than buying one company. Like if you just went for AMD and AMD turned out to have a bad time, you've got Nintendo to rely on, Nvidia to rely on, and you're spreading your money out that way. However, there's a little bit of risk there, because if the whole video game market collapses and your ETF is only in video games, you've lost out. Okay. So we've noticed that the GameStop situation is bananas, because they've shorted all of the ETFs, and they've been doing this for fucking ages as well, for 6 months. They've been shorting all of the ETFs. They think they're going to crash. They think they're going to go down, to put more this negative pressure on the GameStop price. And it's got to a point where they're buying all these ETFs that have thousands and thousands of these shares to make a slight difference to GameStop. So you'd have a pie with 1,000 companies in. Part of that pie is GameStop, and it'll be shorted to 200%, which is like, how can you do that? And it makes a, I don't know, slight dip on the GameStop situation, but it also dips, I don't know, fucking Nintendo and AMD at the same time a little bit, just to make that little bit more pressure. And it's like, you can see the most shorted ETFs, just to show that I'm not bullshitting. Most heavily shorted ETFs. Shares short 126%. It's XRT. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's see what's in XRT. Let's have a look. I don't actually know. So we've got all these companies. Let's just wait until we find GameStop because it will be in there. Amazon, BJ's, whatever that is. Camping. Why don't they arrange it in alphabetical order? Strange. Chewy. They got Chewy in there. That's interesting. What? XRT, GameStop. Let's have a look. Hammer's retail ETF has nearly 80% of assets exit. So it's got GameStop in it. XRT. Look at it. Look at that manipulation there. That's not just people selling out. This article makes it sound like 80% of assets exit. And more you look into this, the more of these straight lines you see that's not natural. Because you have to think, okay, if you wanted to sell out of a holding, yeah, would you sell it all at once? Or would you try and sell it gradually, so some people keep buying and it goes up and it goes down and you make your money and you get loads more money over the long run? Or would you go, hi everyone, I've got all these fucking GameStop shares, take them. £2, £1, yep, yours, yep, £10, yep, £5, yep, £1, yep. And that's what we're seeing. It's not natural stock market behavior, yeah? It's manipulation to the highest degree. And that's the funny thing, is the best thing out of all of this, whether it moons or it doesn't, because they can still pull a lot of shady shit. I think it's going to moon. I think it's going to it's going to be like nothing we've ever seen. I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, the best thing about this, whether it moons or it doesn't, which it will, is the education I've had following this. It's been unbelievable. And I mentioned earlier about me paper handing and selling when it was coming down. Can I switch over? Is it this one? There you go. That's the button. I was selling it as it was going down because I was worried about losses and stuff. And I was like, oh, all my analysis of this was wrong. And it was obviously weeks. It was, I don't know, a few days, and it stayed around 40 for ages. It was a good window of absolute manipulation to the extreme, and you're actually restricted from buying a certain amount, and you're restricted from using options to buy them. And it's just like, this is nuts. That shouldn't be legal. You're obviously covering up something massive here, and they hoped that it would go down to zero, and it hasn't. It's rebounded, and they still say, you see nowadays that short interest is 20%. That's not true. There's different ways of hiding short interest. Okay, so when people will be coming to this video that are brand new to all of this, and they'll think, it's been and gone GameStop. The next thing is AMC, or the next thing is BlackBerry, or the next thing is Nokia, because Wall Street Bets told me so. Don't follow what people just say. Don't even follow what I say. I could be chatting shit. I have my own I could have my own agenda. So could this guy, 2 words and a number. And I'm not saying that everyone with 2 words and a number is sus, but you do see a bit of a trend. And, you know, these Wall Street people have so much money on the line. And this is where the SEC and the other regulatory bodies are really failing, because they've not really dealt with anything like this before either. And the normal tactics for the hedge funds to make people sell is to make the price drop, such as here or here, to make it drop. But because so many people are now into this and understanding and being financially literate, which is massive positive, people are holding on. And when it drops, people are actually excited to buy more. It's the opposite that's happening. So we're at a point where so many fake shares are in the market now because it's been going on for so long, and people even think that beforehand, when they're shorting the oblivion out of it, you don't even know how long it's been going on for, that there could be so many more shares than there should be, and therefore it's going to rocket because they're paying so much interest on what they're losing at the moment. They're bleeding out of their arse. And if you've ever seen what's the movie? The Big Short. If you ever seen The Big Short, you know what I'm talking about. The Big Short and Margin Call, they're the 2 films I've seen to try and educate myself about this, because it really feels like you get once in a lifetime moments. This feels like once ever. It's not going to happen again. We've seen loads of new rules be put in place for trying to restrict certain activities with these sort of stocks. So yeah, every day I'm looking into what's been going on. Now, just to aid people that haven't been following this sort of situation much, and you just go to Wall Street Bets by default, I'm sorry to say, but you're going to be manipulated. You're going to be told what you need, what they want you to know. And this is why the number of degenerates has kind of like petered out. Okay, so I wouldn't even subscribe to Wall Street Bets anymore. I follow it just to keep an eye on what their latest FUD is and what they're trying to make people do. Now, GME, similar kind of story. There was a lot of drama with this subreddit as well, because people started to notice that all of this fakery and pumping of different shit like RKT and loads of shitty names and different cryptos like Doge. I wouldn't get involved in any crypto at the moment. It's not a good time to do that. I've actually sold some Bitcoin because when these margin calls happen, which is when they have more debt than they should, they have stuff to cover the debt for. Banks get involved and they get all their stuff and they go, okay, sell. And the computer doesn't care. Sells everything. Microsoft share, yep. Anyone want it? Okay, yeah, £100. Apple share, 80 quid, yep, take it. And it just keeps, and so many of these things are going to be happening to loads of different Wall Street enterprises that the market is going to come down because they're margin called. Everything they have is sold. And what do they owe? Oh, they owe all this GameStop stock. Oh, buy. And that's where it goes up and up and up. 140%. And that's the number we know. If it doesn't, if GameStop never is short squeezed, mate, I don't think the US dollar could be the what's it, like the main global currency? The global currency?
the main global currency. You know what I mean? Everything is compared against the US dollar. And when the stock market can't be trusted to do what it should, what value is there in a dollar at that point? Because everyone knows, including Congress, that this is happening. And how far does the rabbit hole go? How many banks are involved? We've seen different photos on these Reddits of banks being open on a Sunday at midnight. All the lights are on, and you can see on Google Maps that the amount of people in the office compared to what it should be normally. You know, when you get to see the traffic or how busy a certain building is. Fucking Citadel, mate. Way up here. It should be like down here. It shouldn't even exist on a Sunday. And then you have, I don't know, all of these other banks, Barclays, Citibank, all of these ones all around the world. And there's a definite undertone of something big is happening. And another thing, the reverse repo market. Okay. This is something I'm not 100% sure on myself. But it's one of these metrics that's just gone bananas over the last few weeks. Okay, so from what I understand, this is take this with a massive pinch of salt, because I don't 100% know what the fuck a repo market is. Okay, but from what I understand, is a bank can work with a hedge fund to swap money between the two of them, and it kind of so. The explanation I saw was, say a bank has a PS5, okay? This is going to need the main camera. There we go. Sexy. Space Invaders. Okay. The bank has a PS5. This hedge fund over here wants a PS5. So, buy a PS5, you give money. And they trade because they always want the PS5. So it's a repo, you buy it, reverse repo, the bank gives them money back and takes back the PS5. And then there's all this like crazy computery thing where they just keep flicking between this place, this place, this place, this place. Gradually, this has been building and like flicking from one to the other, one to the other, one to the other. Assume a PS5 is GameStop stock. They need these stocks, yeah? Loads of these hedge funds that have shorted it, and they're like, oh shit, has anyone got any? Barclays, yeah, I have one. I can donate it to you for a bit so you can show the SEC. Oh yeah, we have this GameStop stock. But obviously it's one, and it's going back, and then it's going over this place, and it's coming back, and then this place, and it's just fucking hurricaning up. That's my understanding of what's going on. The banks are going fucking crazy, going... Okay? That figure, the reverse repo market, is called. I'm not sure what it should be. Let's have a look. I know what it is now, though. The reverse repo market at the moment is over $500 billion. $500 billion now is going fuck. Something's brewing. Repo market. Reverse repo market. So, and yeah, it's a record, just to let you know. It's the record $500 billion at the moment for the first time ever, and it's surging up. Why are they all doing that? How much it's been before? Reverse repos. There was one in 2020. And that was 300. We are now at 500. It's up here. It's way up here. And that was a spike. Look at this. It's going up. It's like up here at the moment. Normally it's what? Under 50? Under 30? So something is... Oh shit, I didn't even... Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't fucking share my screen. Keep pressing the wrong button. Okay, let me do that again. I'm so sorry. Let me get this up. Okay. Need to get this like zoomed in. Is it too far away? Is it just my screen? Okay. Hope that helps. Reverse repo market as of May, 350. Oh, that's a record. Guess what it is now? 500. It's up here. Why is it spiking? Why is there all this shit going on between banks and stuff? And hedge funds? Why is it all the way up here? Normally, look. No issues. No issues. Normally definitely under 50 normally. I don't know what this March 31st was. It's struggling to deal with the liquidity. It's struggling. The banks are struggling. They're flicking between each other. Now, this is something that I don't really know the full ins and outs of. And with all the quantitative easing, where the US government have been handing out like $2,000 to everyone, and all this money is in the economy at the moment. And there's the COVID thing as well. Something's happening where it's just gonna go pop. And it could be so many things that cause this, okay? We're getting onto the catalysts. Before I get onto the catalysts for what could cause GameStop to be the best thing that's ever happened, full stop, and will never happen, full stop, again. Let's get on to subreddit drama, because there's so many aspects to this, and this is why it's so exciting to me, because documentaries. I've spoken so much. I'm losing the English language here. You're gonna get so many documentaries. And the more I say it, the more it sounds stupid. You're going to see so many You're going to see so many shows. You're going to see so many books written about this. You're going to see so many financial case studies around this in few years. Movies. You're going to see... The movie is what I'm waiting for, because I've experienced it hands-on. I've experienced all the FUD, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt. Let's zoom in a bit, because I can see that you guys can't really see too much. Let's just... I don't know what more to say. There's so much drama with this that clearly we found a fucking jackpot that they fucked up. There shouldn't be as many shares as there are. And the fact that the vote last week was pretty much 100% of what it could be shows that they had GameStop had to adjust the numbers because they're not allowed to report an overvote in their SEC documents, which is something I never knew. You know, I'm learning all these new things. I didn't know what the fuck SEC was before I started to get into stocks and shares. But we're starting to learn, and every fucking week that goes by, I'm learning more. Everyone's learning more, and everyone sees through the fakery. And this is why I'm on the GME subreddit. So this, if I had to rate it out of 10, it's like a 5. It's okay. It's pretty good. It used to be the best place to go. And then some shenanigans happened with the mods. And people, I think, were removed for no reason. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was so alarming because the reason that people moved away from Wall Street Bets was because of all this drama with other fakery going on and the mods fucking around and all sorts like that. It was crazy. And then to see it simmer up in the GME subreddit as well, that was pretty scary too. So what happened, yeah, you get to see all these funny memes, they're quite cool, is the arrival of the best fucking subreddit and a massive source of entertainment and education for me. Super Stonk. It's the best. 429,000 members. It's growing all the time. 76,000 are online. And to be honest, that's relatively low for this subreddit. So 420, let's say 430 and 75. That's not the same ratio. And let's look at Wall Street Bets. They got 10.5 million people on, but only 87,000 people currently online. The trust of this subreddit has fucked up big. 10.5, 87 million are online, 87,000 are online, 420,000, 76,000 are online. And that's the craziness of the situation we find ourselves in, because part of the attacks that these subreddits and educational places have found is they're trying to split people off. They're trying to split the community down and down and down. And it does sound like I've got a tinfoil hat on. I understand. But the amount of BS I've seen, I'm diamond handing. And that's the reason they're absolutely fucked. They have to buy the stock. The SEC knows there's naked shorts now because they've been working with GameStop, and it's starting to get into the news because of slips of the tongue with CNBC. They didn't mean to say it. There's quite a funny video on YouTube of where the presenter accidentally says, "Oh yeah, naked shorts," which is massively illegal. And Citadel actually run CNBC, so they can just push whatever stocks they want, which is so bad because they've been doing it for years. That's why they're so rich. So there's going to be the squeeze, in my opinion, the squeeze is going to happen 100%. If it doesn't happen, trust in the dollar is gone. No one's going to invest anymore. The catalysts could be crypto dividend. Game over. They can't get a crypto dividend themselves, these hedge funds, so they have to buy back the stock. Goodbye. See you later. A normal dividend, I think they'll just keep the game going. What else could they do? GameStop haven't even announced what they're going to be doing with their new company. But what you see is a change of board with Amazon directors and e-commerce side of things. And they've announced the NFT Gamestop.com site. This is official GameStop NFT. What's an NFT? Well, it's a way of digitally securing content in blockchain. So let's copy this. This is with Ethereum, which is similar to Bitcoin in a way, but Ethereum allows you to store contracts of things. So what this could do is store someone's video game. You could buy a game and trade it with a friend, a virtual game. You've never been able to do that before. If you go onto PlayStation and you buy a game, you're kind of lent it out from PlayStation. You don't get to sell it after you're done with the virtual game. It's downloadable. You don't get to sell it. You don't get to make it cross-platform. You can't lend it to a friend. You can't just give it to a friend and then, do something like that. The amount of uses for Ethereum is bananas. You might have heard of NFTs, which is like you can get artwork. So you can sell like a GIF as an NFT, and people will use their Ethereum currency to buy some artwork that's just like any old, I don't know, you could have that image alone. This image could be an NFT, and someone would buy it because it's stored in blockchain and it verifies you as the owner, even though you could just go, oh yeah, there you go, I've got it, sort of thing. That's mine. That's the crazy thing about NFTs. So there's a lot of potential with this. We are building a team. Power to the players, creators, and collectors. That's exactly what I want from someone that's taken the company to a new height, change the game. And it could also be used as a dividend, as I've said, which would completely fuck them because they can't fake crypto. So I think that's where the stock market's going to be going in the next few years, is a stock market that's actually there technically isn't the ability to give out fake shares, give out crypto. Not give out crypto, what did I say? I've been streaming for a while now. But naked short, it won't be possible. Especially, like, there are all these rules in place for not being able to naked short, but they do. So buckle up is what I say, because, you know, we're not the ones that have fucked it here. And by we, I mean collection of individuals that are investing in the same stock as individual retail investors. It's just giving my advice and my take on what's been going on. So that's where I think it's going. I think there's loads of catalysts for this. There's also the Russell 1000, where if GameStop gets into that, it's even more reason for game to be over. But all these hedge funds are just kicking the can down the road at the moment. They haven't covered. They're getting obliterated. Unlikely, a lot of banks around the world are also caught up in this. So we'll see. House prices are a record at the moment. I'm not buying a house anytime soon. I'd rather put it into GameStop, to be honest. I wouldn't put it into any other shares. I have my own exit strategy, which I'm not really willing to divulge because I don't know. I think I've added a lot of content so far already in the stream. But if you want educational, I don't know, insight, and you want somewhere that has reliable news that's not manipulated, because you've seen other subreddits get infiltrated, but this subreddit has a really strong mod team, and they have we've become so used to the amount of manipulation and fakery now that we can see straight through these sort of FUD attacks. And they've actually recently brought in a bot. I guess it's called a bot, or security bot, I guess, that can analyze the things that are being put into the forum, see whether it's fake, and ban people, and there's a decent requirement needed to be able to post on this subreddit, which is really good because you're not seeing these fake accounts crop up with fake content anywhere near as much as you've seen in Wall Street Bets. So I think I'm going to end it there. I know this video is not going to be for everyone, and I know there's been hardly any people viewing, but I really think that this is like a once in a lifetime sort of thing. I've even said it's not even once in a lifetime. You're never going to see this happen again. You've seen so many rules come in from the SEC about tying up a lot of loose ends, but there's like one or two remaining that are really big, like being able to take a short position and create another one based off of it. So just basically fucking around with the stock market, because as I finish this stream off, you have to think, literally they are creating fake money. They're if I took a £10 note and put it into a photocopier and copied it and copied it and copied it, I'll go to jail. But Wall Street seems to think it has the right to ignore such rules. So I'm holding. I like the stock. I like where the company's going. I think there's a lot of opportunity with all the brand recognition that they have. I like Ryan Cohen. He's got a proven track record of doing great things with companies. I think there's a really big market for the sort of thing that he's trying to go for. I think the NFT situation is great. Being able to have like a shared store of, resellable games online. That's really cool. And I think physical games as well. There's a big market for that. That's not going to go away. People don't have the internet nowadays or the patience really to download every single game. Some of these games are hundreds of gigabytes in data, whereas someone that's just nipped to GameStop and back, they could just put it in the console and straight away, boom, there you go, there's your game. So I'm very excited to be a GameStop shareholder. I'm very excited to see where this goes. If I had to put a time scale on it, I'll be flabbergasted if it lasts beyond 2021. Put it that way. I don't really want to say too much on that because there have been a lot of dates that have come and gone because, we're all retailers. We're all trying to educate ourselves, and creating too much hype around certain dates doesn't help. We need to stay in the dark. We're up against a formidable number of foes and fuckery. So I want to call it there anyway. I know I've been rambling a lot, but there is a lot to this story, and oh, there we go. I was so confused then. I was like watching the what's going on? What is going on here? I'm looking at the wrong screen. There we go. There is so much to this story, and whether you a year ago, I would have not a year ago, 2 years ago, if you told me I would find financial news and I'll be watching financial YouTubers rather than gaming videos, I would have laughed my ass off. to be honest. And it still kind of stuns me that I have. And that's where I am at the moment. I think it's a sign of getting older as well. It's fascinating. And, you know, the main thing I asked for Christmas, which I only had like last week because of fucking coronavirus in 2020, fucking 4 financial books. So I'm only going to get more educated, and the more I see this sort of shenanigans going on, the less I'm currently willing to risk in the stock market, because I think this is going to be bigger than anything that's ever happened. I think it's going to cause ripples through fucking finance for a good time. So I've diversified myself. I'm across different brokers. That's my main advice. Follow the rules that your financial broker is changing, and the communications that they've allowed, and especially whether they've allowed you to vote with your shares as well, because while we cannot see that they've actually sent those votes off, I think it's a good sign if you're able to see your control number for your votes and your shares, the ones you have, and then you're not just being peddled some fake shares. And let me just say this as well as I finish up. If you think you have fake shares, which there is no way for you to figure out, but if you're worried that, oh, I've just bought a fake share, you don't have to particularly be worried about that, because it works in exactly the same way as any other share, like a normal share. When GameStop give out a dividend, if they give out one, you will be entitled to a dividend even if you have a fake share. Everyone who has GameStop in their account gets a dividend. If you have a fake share and Citadel or whoever made that fake share say, oh, I'm not giving you a dividend, that's a margin call. They get margin called by the broker because suddenly they're not able to fulfill the contract that they signed up for when shorting the stock. Because when you short the stock, you also take on the liability for giving out dividends. I know I've just said a fucking shit ton of jargon there. Jargon. I said that wrong as well. Lol. So if they don't give out a dividend, they get margin called. Good news for you. The price rockets. It works exactly in the same way. And when they do get margin called, they have to keep buying these shares, okay? So when they buy them all back and they go, oh, this is a fake share, you know what they do? Fucking yeet. Fake share, fake share, fake share. Oh, this is a real share. That goes towards what we need to cover because we said we'd short all these shares. So it can get very confusing. I think my novice experience of covering this sort of shit has been really cool. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be so much more to this story, which is why I just wanted to like sit down today, like on a quiet Saturday that I've got, and literally talk about everything. It's not even everything that I know about this. It's like a good whistle-stop tour of 6 months of BS. And if I had to give some advice on on educating yourself on these sort of things, number one is consider what sources you're reading from. The reason I started this video today was because I saw a YouTuber who lied to an extent that it had me flabbergasted, and I wanted to post onto Super Stonk to make people aware of this, but I didn't have the karma to be able to do so. The YouTuber is Meet Kevin, who's one of the biggest financial YouTubers. Okay. So
I'll try and share my screen again. I just thought I was going to wrap up. It's never the case, is it? Jesus Christ. Right. Okay. So this is the post I was going to write. Okay. Meet Kevin is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Let me explain. 2 days ago, let's just scroll down to here. Where am I? I tried to write this post, okay? Meet Kevin blames the GameStop share offering to pay off non-existent debt for the 8.5% price dip after hours. Okay? Look at this. The video is now private. And the thing is, I've gone on to Stonk and I've tried to search people that have written about Meet Kevin in the last couple of days, because it was only 2 days ago. I didn't make this up. The video is private. He's taken it offline, which is crazy to see. He frankly lied. This is misinformation, and he doesn't do his research. But I think he's a shill. This guy is a massive financial YouTuber. This is what he looks like. This guy. He recorded this video straight after the GameStop share conference call, and he blames an 8.5% price dip after hours. By the way, the only people that have access to after hours are massive hedge funds and no one that's in retail, okay? Hardly anyone in retail. And he blames, because GameStop are diluting the shares by offering, I think it was 5 million more shares. That's the reason for an 8.5% dip. Okay. In normal circumstances, yes, a share offering is a bad thing, okay? However, the non-existent debt was his reason for this to be dropping. And you can see 2 days ago, this was his fucking video, and now he's made it private. The bastard, mate. It is bananas. So, I've since unsubscribed to Meet Kevin. After GameStop, sure, I might pick him back up, because he is cranking out videos like left, right, and center, but he hasn't addressed this. He hasn't made a new video to say why he's made this private. And this guy is so slimy and shady, and he's... Okay, on one hand, he's slimy, shady businessman. He owns a lot of real estate, and he's... you know, he's a moneymaker. But on the other hand, he provides educational material, and he's very on it. And he's churning out fucking 10 videos a day. He's fucking workaholic. I'll give him that. But when he's giving misinformation that's so blatant, I can't trust him. And this was so scary to me. And the fact that I don't have the karma to be able to post this into Super Stonk is really disappointing. And I don't want to kind of create drama and call him out, because obviously I'm a fucking one-man band. I'm a fucking retail investor who looks up to the likes of him and looks up to other YouTubers and stuff. I think that this guy has sold out because there is no debt to pay for. They only offered the shares to raise extra cash. Currently, GameStop are sitting on near enough $1 billion, 1 billion, I didn't mean billion, dollars. $1 billion. It's just sat there. They're using that to transform the company into the online giant that it's going to become. Okay? That's a fact. That's not even BS. GameStop have come out and said they've paid off all of the debt. And this was probably about 6 months ago, 5 months ago. No, not 6 months ago. Probably about 4 months ago. So Meet Kevin knows this. He's not uninformed. He knows that they've paid off the debt. But he uses this video from 2 days ago to say the share offering is to pay off this debt. but it doesn't exist. GameStop came out and said they paid off all of the debt for all the debt. They're debt free. They don't have any debt, even though they have all of this storefronts and I don't know, whatever the fuck else they have, games and anything that's costing them money is paid off. They don't have any debt. So the share offering for an 8.5% dip after hours, when retail doesn't even have access to that, it's only hedge funds and big money. It's so BS, and I couldn't believe it. And the thing is, I want to also have this on record in video as well. When I went on, I saw, I knew the type of content that he does is clickbaity. Okay, I know that, but I just didn't have words when I was watching the video. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this just for my own education, but I'm not gonna let it infiltrate my thesis around why I'm buying this. And looking at the comments, everyone else, there was quite a few people in there that were like, oh, good video, whatever. But there's quite a few people as well that were like, does this guy even do his research? And then other people that were saying things like he's just a shill and he's just promoting AMC, or he's just trying to get on the coattails of GameStop with all the traffic that he could get from viewers that are seeing this, because obviously GameStop is very popular thing to get views. But I think it's more sinister than that, and he will never admit it. And it's such a shame that this couldn't get posted, because I might message one of the mods on Twitter. I don't have any authority, sort of thing, but I think this is huge. The fact that he's since privatized the video, that's scary to me, man. I don't trust him. And that was today. And I know the screenshot up here says like 10:52 and then 10:51. That was because today I went on his channel. Today I was looking through my my YouTube comments or some shit, and it said it had like a little. It was like, you know, the YouTube notifications area. It said you previously written about on this video, but it had a grey icon, and I was like, what the fuck? So I clicked on it, and the video wasn't there. I was like, no way. So the reason I got a notification, just so I have it all on record as well, is because these bots that aren't, I don't think that these are anything to do with hedge funds or anything like that, but there are bots on YouTube that say, WhatsApp me, and it has a fake number. And it's just a real low level way to try and scam people. So I had one of those notifications that said, someone's commented on your comment. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Why is the video not there? And then I was like, holy shit, thank God I posted this onto Reddit a couple of days ago. So I screenshotted this and did the second screenshot where I try and play the video. So it's not me trying to fuck around here. I know some people might call that out. So the also scary thing here is meet Kevin, yeah? I feel like I'm having a massive attack on him, and it's quite scary to fucking talk about someone that's so influential. Mate, look at Mariah Carey there, jeez. He's promoting AMC. Let's just go onto his channel. I'm so sad that I've unsubscribed from this guy, because he is very educational and he can be helpful. But at the moment, I can't trust his content. And I've always been a bit edgy on him, because he is one of these like suited, booted, has made millions, and he's done videos where he's like kicking out some of his tenants and stuff, which is not nice to see. But and he's sort of like, you know, he confronts people a lot, and it's just not nice to see. But this guy, he's a workaholic, and you have to admire that to some degree. So I would like to like start watching his videos again after this squeeze all happens. But just look at this. AMC squeeze, Tesla, he's always been into Tesla. AMC squeeze, AMC. AMC. AMC and GME crashes. Oh no, it crashes. See? Pulling his face, crashes. Oh, it's GameStop. Oh no, crashes, crash and burn. Fucking AMC, 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 AMC. Like, none of these videos are the video that he's privatized. And the also scary thing as well is the like to dislike ratio on that video was actually okay. I think if I was him, I'd be quite happy with that. So I wouldn't have removed that video because of the dislike ratio. And that was worrying to me because it either said to me that a lot of people were believing that the reason the stock was going down was because of share dilution to pay off debt. BS. So people were either believing him, or there was so many more shills that are working on his channel to, you know, promote his content and get a good like ratio. Like, if I had to put an estimate of how much of a liked video it was, it's such a shame I can't get access to that video now. I'd say it was probably about 80% liked, 85% liked. It wasn't obvious just from the like dislike ratio that was fucking unbelievable bad content. And let me just rip into him a little bit more, because I don't think he's going to ever see this. And even if he does, he's not going to see us. Let's face it. Okay. There's a lot of political content here. He's campaigning to be a governor, I think, of California. You don't think someone with political ties has things to do with pumping stocks? AMC, AMC, AMC rockets up. There's just something that's not right. And the fact I've spotted that one video where he's privatized it after a couple of days. What hasn't been spotted? And I know I can give him the benefit of the doubt for making a mistake. I don't think this is a mistake. The fact he was so quick to come up with the share offering being the reason for price dip after hours. Do you think GameStop hasn't already paid off its debt? Like, you're someone that's been recording all these videos. I don't think it's just misinformation. He's just been misinformed, because watching his video, I wasn't even aware of the share offering being a part of their shareholder documents. It wasn't something that caught my eye from everything that came out on that day. It was a crazy day. It was a day where they were announcing the vote. Ryan Cohen was speaking. There's no mention of that in this video. It's only about this share offering. Any normal stock, yeah, that can kind of make sense, but it's not always that bad. And especially after hours, at 8% drop. Man, I had to record this video. So that's the reason for the long ass fucking 2-hour 15 video, and the video before where I was streaming and talking about what's brought us up to this point, because this is such a fucking crazy story that it's not even a I don't even think this could be put into a movie at this point. Like, it's, I don't know. How long did the fucking Big Short last? Let's have a look. Big Short. By the way, I found this all this stuff hard to follow. It's not a sit down with your popcorn sort of movie and just chill out and look at your phone. This is like high level fucking shit, but it's so true to what the situation is kind of like at the moment. And you're like, oh, is there actually some, am I going to win this? Like, and everyone that's in the circle and knows what's going on, they're like, this is a fucking ticking time bomb, man. And you see things like AMC, and you see fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck else is being pumped. Dogecoin has gone way up and down, and other stuff. Dogecoin, $2.50 1 month ago. Let's see what Dogecoin has happened since 2 months. 2 months. $2.50, he said. Well, was it 2 months ago you hit that? Where is it? 1 month. $2.50 1 month. Let's have a look. Bang, 1 month. So it's gone from fucking 45p down to 31. And this is what scares me about this, is because there's so many people that look up to these financial YouTubers that have got a lot of money. And it's scary to see. It's scary to see when I've spotted something that's so obvious as the deleted video that was so BS, and the fact he deleted it when it had a good like ratio, it was getting good views. There's been no addressing of this either, and there's been no video since 2 days. Where's 2 days? Let's go from 3 days, make sure I'm not missing anything. AMC, Bitcoin, the next squeeze stocks. It's not been squoze. It's not been squoze. GME earnings, but the rocket's pointing down, so I'm not even going to bother. That's an hour-long video. Screwing us. There's AMC crashes, GME crashes. There's nothing here about the... I don't even want to watch this. I don't think this is about GameStop. Yeah, it's about registering to come and... Let's have a look. This is about AMC.
I enjoy the momentum movement. I enjoy playing this chess match against the suits and looking for our next runner. And while we're all not always right, we have been hitting some big hitters and winners rather over the last few weeks, and I'm super excited by that. So number one, I just want to say thank you. It's really fun to be a part of the community. Hopefully my intrigue in asking questions never and proposing potential solutions never comes across as anything but a sincere desire to help. I am a diamond hander, and folks, I love it. It's super fun to be a part of the community. I know sometimes folks are like, "Oh, Kevin, why are you sounding so critical? Why are you sounding so cynical? Or why are you asking that?" It's all in good faith to make sure that we have whatever information we can have to make the best decisions possible. So I'm constantly looking for, if I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. If I'm right,
tell me you're
good
wrong.
For all of us, right?
Tell me you're wrong. Tell me you're wrong. Have you told us you're wrong? No.
So, and the goal is to be right more than we're wrong. So we'll keep moving forward. Number two, and then I'm really excited to tell you about number three because it's just kind of ironic. But anyway, number two is a very quick one. Tomorrow I will be in San Francisco, and you should come because it's my very first campaign rally that's like official. TV screen, stage, mics, everything. It's going to be really exciting. We're right outside of City Hall in San Francisco, but go to...
To be fair, he's got something about him because he's such a workaholic. He doesn't have an off switch. And I never see him with his wife or kids or anything like that, which is no like personal insult to him or anything. But I don't know. The guy is a machine. That's all I'm saying.
Go to the Eventbrite to RSVP. So go to meetkevin.com, RSVP San Francisco tomorrow. That's June 12th at 4 p.m. Be there, be on time. And next week on June 19th, I'll be in Los Angeles, so check that out.
I need to see the start
You'll
of
see
this
a link
video.
down below, right next to the link for all of my programs, which have a 40% off coupon code linked down below that you can take advantage of. Number 3. Folks, if you ever think to yourself, it is a good idea to do a really big remodel, and we're going to hire the best architect in the world, and we're going to hire an engineer, and we're going to do all this awesome developing, you better have the best relationship ever. Because I'm going to come clean here. And some of you already know about this because we've been talking about this in courses too and in other places. But the biggest headache ever is starting with an architect on a remodel project, and then that architect failing, not working for you anymore because you kind of ended the relationship.
Just have a look at his channel while he's chats this shit.
Then finding a new architect midstream in a project.
Does anyone want to know about his fucking architect?
Then hiring that new architect to find out that the new architect can't get the old plans from the original architect because they're copywritten and the old architect won't turn them over even when you offer him money. And so, in other words, you basically start from scratch 8 months in on remodel projects. And here's the crazy thing.
Tell us more about the stocks.
Y'all know that in my real estate investing course and my property management and
his
rental
course, by the
renovations
way, fucking expensive. I don't know. Okay. That sounds like I've looked at the price. I don't even want to bother. I know this guy's going to be expensive.
I purposely teach in my courses, never, ever do remodels that involve architects and engineers when you can avoid it. You want to buy basic cosmetics, basic over-the-counter permit kind of stuff, fans, light switches, outlets, cabinets, paint, carpet, flooring, vinyl plank, right? Basics. And you want to have medium-grade quality rental products that you are providing to society. So that way you don't have to charge an arm and a leg for your rentals either, but you're providing safe and quality. And you can do it fast because guess what? In the same period of time that I've had a few rentals.
What the fuck is this guy talking about? Let me just have a look at this. I just need to see the Euros. The Euros are on at the moment. Oh, Switzerland are winning. Brilliant.
Sitting totally vacant, waiting for dumb, stupid paperwork in the freaking state of California. At the same time, I have remodeled multiple, at least 5 single-family houses in the span of 5 weeks. Within 5 weeks, like start to finish. Total fixer-upper, 5 weeks done. Total fixer, 5 weeks done. Total fixer, 5 weeks done. Meanwhile, sitting here with vacant buildings waiting for architects and engineers to push paper on things we know are honestly quite ridiculous and permitted by code and totally minor. Like a couple headers here or there. Toxic. So anyway, folks, thank you for your support. Hopefully you don't mind this sort of Friday Meet Kevin update. And we'll see you on the road. I got to fly to San Francisco now. We'll see you. Bye.
I don't know. Let's just see what I missed at the start because I don't think he addressed the GameStop thing. Or has he just deleted it for no reason?
Hey everyone, me Kevin here. So I have 3 personal things that I just want to share with you. So number 1, I am stoked to be a part of the ape movement because I see this as not just throwing money into a meme stock, which I think is a very derogatory term because that implies that meme stocks are a joke. I enjoy the momentum movement.
I don't know. I know he's also been called out as well on... he said he was going to buy AMC should he receive something like it wasn't the amount of subscribers, it was something like amount of donations or something towards his campaign. And he said, oh yeah, I'll buy loads of AMC if you guys donate to the cause. And it turned out that he used those funds to short AMC. And then he got caught and had to apologize. And I'm not sure which video that is. And I don't really want to go digging for it. But I did see it on, I think it was his own subreddit, which I doubt he's even aware exists. So I think I'm going to leave it there. It's been a long fucking stream. There's so much to talk about, and it's not the end. It's nowhere near the end, I don't think. Whether I do another one of these, I think I would like to. I think it's good to talk about and get it out there and
it's also good for me as well, in a way, to look back on and say, oh, that was everything that happened, you know, because it's been 6 months, if that, 5 months. And it's been one hell of a ride. A couple of websites that I would recommend to those that are new and they want to know more about what's been going on. And like I say, this isn't sponsored or anything like that. But one brilliant website is GMEtimeline.com. It's been really well documented, so people can't say, oh, this came up out of nowhere, or GameStop is a meme, or blame retail, or anything like that. I just want to make sure I get a copy of this website, just in case this website suddenly disappears, or you know, that's what I'm going to leave my computer to do while I go and get my lunch now. I have a plugin that lets you do like a whole screenshot of this website. It's brilliant. So yeah, come on, there we go, it's going. So yeah, it's been a ride. Hopefully next time we'll get more viewers, have some more back and forth chat, but yeah, I don't think this is the end. We'll see how often I do these sort of chat things. But yeah, I'd highly recommend getting yourself educated on this, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So have a good weekend, and I shall see you whenever. We'll see you around. Okay. Bye.